Kate Thompson, she's been running through the fog of Black Hollow all night. But the hollow is not done with her. It knows her fears, her doubts, her memories, and it wants them all. Listen closely, because what happens next will test the limits of courage and show you what lies in the heart of darkness. Will Kate escape, or will the hollow claim her forever? Stay with us, because the shadows are moving, and they're coming for her, and maybe for you too. Kate Thompson had lived her whole life in Black Hollow, a forgotten little town tucked between the steep ridges of the Blackridge Mountains. It was the kind of place where the trees whispered louder than the people, where fog clung to the hills like it had nowhere else to go, and where the nights were so quiet you could hear your own heartbeat echo off the valley walls. At 23, Kate worked at Ridgeline Print and Copy, a tiny business sitting right on the edge of town. Her daily commute forced her to take Old Lantern Road, a narrow two-lane strip cutting through miles of thick forest and sharp bends. Locals had plenty of names for that road. Dead Man's Twist, the Lantern Mile, but the one name everyone feared the most was the Hollow. Stories clung to Old Lantern Road like vines, stories of wandering lights, vanishing truckers, shadows crossing the pavement when no one was there. But Kate never believed them. Not until the storm. The evening it happened, the Blackridge sky was bruised purple, heavy with the promise of rain. Kate had stayed late finishing print orders, then hit the small gym across the street for a quick workout. By the time she stepped outside, the wind had turned mean. The treetops swayed like tall silhouettes bowing toward the earth, and a low rumble echoed through the mountains. Kate checked her phone. 8:12 p.m. Great. Perfect timing. She swung a leg over her old red Honda motorbike. It wasn't much, but it always got her home, up the mountain curves, past the abandoned cabins, and through the long, lonely stretch of Old Lantern Road. Tonight, though, the mountains felt different. Closer. Watching. Kate was halfway to the ridge when the storm came alive. Cold rain slapped her jacket. Wind clawed at her helmet. Lightning cracked somewhere above the tree-line. She hunched forward, urging the bike to push through. And then, a sharp snap cracked through the storm. Her gym mat, strapped behind the seat, broke loose and spun across the wet road like a wounded animal. Damn it! Kate braked hard, tires skidding on slick asphalt. She pulled onto the dirt shoulder, the forest leaning in around her like a dark audience. She killed the engine. Silence fell instantly. Not the gentle hush of nature, but the cold, suffocating silence of something holding its breath. Kate swallowed. Come on, just grab the mat and go, Katie. She clicked on her phone's flashlight and moved toward the mat lying several feet away. The beam sliced through the rain and landed on something beside it. A footprint. A large boot print, deep, clean, unmistakably fresh. Her stomach dropped. There were no houses out here. No parked trucks. No trails used by hikers at this hour. And no one stood on Old Lantern Road during a storm. Kate's hand trembled as she grabbed the mat. She backed away slowly. That was when she heard it. A voice. Low, deep, far too close. Hey, you. Kate spun so fast her shoes slid in the mud. Her light swept the trees. Nothing. Only the black silhouettes of pines twisting in the wind. Her breath fogged her visor. Rain raced down her cheeks. Her heart hammered. Hello. Her voice barely rose above the rain. No response. Just the forest. Listening. Kate backed toward her bike, one step at a time, never taking her eyes off the treeline. Her fingers fumbled with the compartment. She shoved the mat inside and, "Hey, I'm talking to you." The voice was right behind her. Kate froze. Her lungs locked. Her skin crawled. She didn't turn around, didn't look, didn't breathe. She slammed the compartment shut, twisted the key. The Honda sputtered to life. She didn't hesitate. She gunned the throttle and shot forward onto the road. Rain burned her eyes. Wind shoved the bike sideways. The mountain curves twisted like the spine of some sleeping creature. But the worst part wasn't the storm. It was the sense. The terrible, primal sense. That something was keeping pace with her. Not in the trees. Not in the fog. But in the dark. Right beside her. She didn't dare look. "Please, please let me get home." Her voice trembled. Then, something cold touched the back of her neck. Sharp, sudden, like fingers, and the world went white. Not bright, not blinding, just white. As if someone erased the night, the rain, the road, and pulled her out of the world entirely. And Kate Thompson fell into a silence deeper than the mountains themselves. Kate didn't remember falling. She didn't remember the moment the bike slipped, or the truck that would eventually be blamed, or the scream that never quite made it past her lips. All she remembered was the white, a cold, empty, endless white, like standing inside a cloud that had forgotten how to move. No up, no down, no sound, just a weightless, dreamless nothing. For a moment, or maybe a lifetime, Kate floated in that blankness. Then, somewhere far away, a sound cracked open the silence. Beep, beep, beep. Slow, steady, distant. A heartbeat monitor? No, it was too faint, too far. Kate tried to move, but she didn't know where her body was. She didn't know if she had a body at all. She whispered, "Hello," but her voice didn't echo. It didn't even leave her mouth, because there was no mouth. Not here. And then, the white tore open, like a curtain being ripped from a window, and suddenly the world slammed back into place. Cold, wet, metal, pain. Kate gasped, but the sound came from somewhere below her. She looked down, and she saw herself, her own body, twisted on the pavement, her bike crushed on top of her left leg, pinning her to the ground. Blood spread beneath her, mixing with the rainwater in thin red rivers. Kate blinked, or would have blinked. She wasn't in her body. She was standing right beside it. How? The word was a thought, floating inside her head. Her physical body lay motionless. Her helmet cracked, one hand limp in a puddle. Her breathing shallow, barely there. Headlights flickered in the distance, then vanished behind a curve. For one heart-stopping moment, Kate thought help was coming. But no, just another car passing by, never seeing her, never slowing down. The storm drowned everything. Wind whipped her hair, or the memory of it. Rain fell through her, not on her. She turned in every direction, searching for anyone. anything. But all she saw was forest, dark pines swaying like mourners, fog rolling across the road, and her own body slowly losing warmth. Kate tried to kneel beside herself. Her hand reached forward and passed right through her shoulder. Cold shot through her. Not the cold of weather, but the cold of realization. I'm dead. The thought trembled through her. No, no, please. I'm not dead. Her voice was not a voice, just a desperate echo inside the white fog of her mind. Kate spun, searching the road, the trees, the sky, anything that made sense. And then, a new sound cut through the storm. Footsteps. Heavy, slow, deliberate, coming from the forest. Kate froze. If she'd still had a heartbeat, it would have stopped. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Branches snapped. Leaves rustled. Someone, or something, was forcing its way out of the tree-line and onto the road. No, no, not now, someone please. Kate looked down at her physical body, at the vulnerable, broken shape of herself lying there helpless. She braced for the worst. But it wasn't a monster. Not exactly. A man stepped out of the woods. Tall, broad-shouldered, soaked in rain. No shirt, just dark jeans torn at the knee. Tattoos curled across his chest and arms, black ink glistening under the stormlight. He looked like someone carved out of the night itself. Kate staggered back, though she had no weight to stagger with. The man didn't see her, but he saw her body. His eyes widened. He ran, fast, sliding onto his knees beside her broken form. "Damn it, stay with me," he shouted over the rain. Kate's breath hitched, though she had none. The man lifted the bike off her effortlessly, tossing it to the side like scrap metal. He ripped off his own denim jacket. Kate hadn't even noticed he was carrying it, and pressed it hard against the wound on her thigh. Blood soaked the jacket instantly. "Hold on. You hear me? Hold on." Kate hovered over him, trembling. "Who are you?" Her voice, her thought, shook. The man's hands were steady, practiced even, as he tied fabric around her leg, pulling it tight, so tight Kate felt pain shoot through her real body. Or maybe she just remembered what pain was supposed to feel like. Then headlights appeared around the bend. Slowing. Stopping. A young woman climbed out of the truck and gasped. "Oh my God, someone's down. I'll call 911. Kate's vision flickered. Her world grew dimmer. Sounds became distant, as if she were falling backward through water. She stared at the man, the stranger who'd appeared from the trees at the exact moment she needed him. He didn't look up, didn't react to the approaching truck, didn't even seem to feel the cold. He just pressed his hands against her wound, whispering under his breath, "Not tonight. Not on this road. You're not dying here." Kate felt herself fading. Her body, her real body, was slipping away. Her heartbeat slowing. Her vision blurring. The white was returning, creeping around the edges of her sight. "No, not again, please." She reached for the man. Her hand drifted toward his shoulder. But before she could touch him, he looked up, directly at her. Not at her body, not at the others, at her. The her that wasn't supposed to be visible, the her standing outside her own skin. His eyes were dark, too dark, and he whispered, "I see you." The world shattered into white. Kate's body lay on Old Lantern Road, rain pooling around her, blood staining the asphalt. The stranger's hands pressed against her leg, holding back the dark tide that threatened to swallow her. But Kate was somewhere else, somewhere beyond flesh, beyond breath, where the world had no weight. And she watched him. The man's eyes scanned the foggy tree line, then down at her broken body, calculating every movement. He whispered commands she couldn't understand, but they carried authority, like a priest blessing a dying town, or a hunter marking territory over prey. She shivered, not from cold, but from recognition. He wasn't just any passerby. He was part of this place, and somehow part of her story. Then she heard it, the softest of sounds, barely audible beneath the storm, a whisper or a sigh coming from the woods behind him. Kate tilted her head, though she had no head to tilt, and the whisper became a chorus. Not words, just voices, counting, waiting. The man stiffened. He looked into the forest, and Kate felt a shiver crawl down her spine. "Not yet," he muttered. A command or a prayer? She couldn't tell. The voices got louder, closer. The air itself felt thick, as if the storm had stopped blowing, and the trees themselves were holding their breath. Kate's body convulsed faintly on the asphalt. A pulse, weak, shallow, barely alive. The man's hands tightened. He spoke again, this time louder. Words in a language Kate didn't know. A rhythm, a chant, and then silence. The storm, the voices, the world, all gone. The stranger looked up, directly at her again, and Kate felt something, a connection she couldn't explain. "You shouldn't be here," he said. Not angry, not sad, just factual. A statement of reality that made her stomach ache. "I'm dead," she whispered inside her own head. Or, "I'm dying." The words felt hollow, like saying them aloud would erase them from existence. The man's eyes narrowed. "Maybe," he said, "but you're not done." Kate's vision flickered. She tried to focus. The fog around her swirled. Shapes moved. Dark shapes. Closer now. Slithering between the trees. Watching. And then she understood. The storm, the forest, the road. They were alive. Waiting for her. The man stood slowly. He lifted her body with a strength Kate knew wasn't human. Blood dripped from his hands, but he didn't flinch. He carried her off the road, into the woods. Her vision followed. Trees parted before him, branches snapping and reforming behind him. The forest seemed to bend, like reality itself acknowledged him. He set her down in a small clearing. A fire burned in the center, though no one had lit it. Warmth brushed her face. A smell of pine and smoke filled the air. Something ancient hummed in the flames, a rhythm that matched the pulse she hadn't felt for so long. "Why here?" she thought. "Why this clearing? Why this man?" "You're safe for now," he said, his voice low, rough, but it carried calm. "But they will come, and they will know you're not theirs." Kate turned. Who? Who's coming? Her voice broke inside her. Her body twitched beneath her, weak. He didn't answer right away. Instead, he knelt beside her. His hand hovered over her chest, palm glowing faintly, like moonlight caught in water. The warmth spread slowly. Life returned, faintly, hesitantly. Kate gasped, her first real breath in what felt like hours. The world snapped back into focus. The clearing, the fire, the forest around her, and the man. He studied her, his gaze sharp, knowing, dangerous. They are not like you, he said finally. Never were, and never will be. Kate's mind raced. They? What do you mean? The fog returned, brushing against her consciousness, trying to pull her back into the white. Her body fought it. Her heart raced. She was alive, but she felt it. Something was still reaching for her. The man's eyes softened. You have a choice, he whispered. Go back or stay. One path leads to peace, the other to what waits beyond the trees. Kate's breath came in ragged gasps. Her hand twitched toward him, or toward the decision she didn't yet understand. Then she heard it, a branch snapping behind her. Slow, deliberate, and not human. Her pulse shot through her chest. Or maybe it was just her mind trying to mimic life. The white fog crept closer again, but this time it was different. It had shape, form, intent. Kate turned. The forest moved. Shadows gathered like smoke, eyes glinting, hundreds, thousands, watching her. The man rose. He planted himself between her and the edge of the trees. He lifted one hand toward the darkness, and the shadows hesitated, halted. The forest itself seemed to bow to him. Kate understood. He wasn't protecting her. He was bargaining with something far older, far darker. Go back, he said again, or risk everything. Your time is borrowed. The shadows flinched, pulled back into the fog, and the forest became still. Kate collapsed to her knees, her real body trembling beneath her. The man knelt beside her, and she realized, finally, that her story had only just begun, because something, someone, was waiting for her, beyond the trees, beyond life, and it knew her name. Kate woke in the clearing. Her body still ached, every muscle trembling. The fire flickered in the night, though no wind stirred. The man, he never spoke her name, yet somehow she knew he did. Why am I here? She whispered, her voice cracking like old ice. You survived. That's why, he said. Simple words, heavy with meaning. Black Hollow doesn't like survivors. But you're still breathing. Kate tried to stand, but her legs shook violently, refusing her command. The stranger didn't rush to help. Instead, he stepped back, letting the clearing feel larger, emptier, as if the forest itself was watching, waiting for her to fail. Then she heard them, whispers, soft, sibilant, crawling from the dark woods. They weren't voices she recognized, yet she understood every word. Not spoken, but felt. You don't belong. Turn back. Your blood calls us. Kate's heart slammed against her ribcage. Her pulse raced faster than her thoughts. And yet, something in her, a spark she didn't know existed, refused to surrender. The stranger's eyes darted toward the tree line. He muttered under his breath, words that felt like a shield against the darkness. A line drawn in the air, a barrier of intent. But the whispers didn't stop. They grew louder, closer, moving through the mist. "Kate," he said finally, "you have to come with me. If you stay here, they'll claim more than your body. They'll take your mind, your soul, everything." Kate's lips parted. Who are they? She felt the cold brush against her spine, as if unseen fingers traced every vertebra. They are the hollow, and they are patient. They wait for those who wander too far, or linger too long. She swallowed hard. What do they want from me? The stranger's gaze softened, briefly. Not you, not exactly. They want what you carry. And if they get it, everything you know, everything you love, will rot. Kate took a shaky breath. Her mind tried to grasp it all. The forest, the whispers, the man, and the fog that seemed alive, pressing closer, seeking. She noticed movement at the edge of the clearing. Shadows crawling along the trunks. They didn't run. They didn't walk. They hovered, watching. Kate's instincts screamed at her to flee. Her body hesitated. The stranger's hand brushed hers, grounding her. "Do not run," he commanded. "The hollow will feast on fear. Stand or fall." Her vision blurred. Shapes twisted in the fog. Faces appearing in the bark. Eyes glowing faintly red. Whispers weaving together. Singing in a rhythm that felt like her own heartbeat. She wanted to scream. She wanted to run. But her feet, her body, were rooted to the earth. "Why me?" she asked, her voice weak, faltering. "Because you chose to see," he said. "Because you didn't turn away. Most wanderers look and walk past. Not you." A branch snapped sharply behind her. Closer this time. The hollow moved in silence, but its presence pressed heavily, like water filling her lungs. The stranger stepped forward. He raised his hand, palm open, toward the trees. The whispers stuttered, hesitated, as if acknowledging him. "Go," he said. "Go deeper. Face them. It is the only way." Kate's mind screamed, "Face them. I can't even see them." But something in his eyes, something unspoken, pushed her forward. She took the first step. The ground beneath her was soft, damp with decay. The fog swirled around her ankles, then her knees, then her waist. Shadows leapt from the trees, not attacking, but guiding, or perhaps testing. A voice rang out, clear, not in the forest's tongue. Her own name, Kate, Kate, Kate. She froze. The whisper carried sorrow, anger, and longing. The stranger's hand released hers. "Walk alone," he said, "and do not hesitate. They feed on doubt." Kate swallowed, every nerve alive with fear, every instinct screaming to flee. But she stepped forward, and the hollow shifted. The trees leaned in. The fog thickened. Voices swirled. Around her, inside her, and she saw it. A figure, tall, impossible, part shadow, part flame, with eyes like molten silver. It spoke her name, and in that moment, Kate knew everything she feared, everything she doubted, was waiting here, in the heart of Black Hollow. Her breath caught, her legs trembled, and yet, something deep inside told her she had to go on, because survival is never for the faint of heart. Kate's breath came in shallow gasps. The figure loomed before her, tall, molten silver eyes burning through the fog. Every instinct screamed to run, but she couldn't. Her feet were rooted. The whispers rose again, a chorus of voices, each claiming ownership of the forest. You don't belong. You cannot leave. You carry what we want. The stranger's warning echoed in her mind. They feed on doubt. Kate forced her trembling legs forward. Each step sank into the damp, decaying ground. Every movement felt like wading through water. The hollow was alive and aware. The figure raised its hand. Its voice rolled like distant thunder. Kate Thompson, why do you resist? Her mind spun. What do you want from me? She demanded. Her voice cracked, but she planted herself firmly. What you carry, your memory, your fear, your choices, they sustain us. Without them, the hollow cannot endure. Kate's eyes widened. It wasn't her life they wanted, but the very essence of her, her mind, her will, her courage. And the thought made her stomach twist. A sudden warmth spread from behind her. The stranger stepped out of the mist, his hand raised once more. You are stronger than they realize. Remember who you are. They cannot take what you refuse to give. Kate swallowed hard. The hollow pressed closer, like a tide of shadow. The whispers merged into a single, deafening voice. Give yourself, surrender, join us. She closed her eyes and remembered her family, her childhood in the small hills of West Virginia, the laughter, the songs, the sunsets over the valley. She remembered every moment that defined her, and she held onto it like a lifeline. When she opened her eyes, the figure froze. The whispers stuttered, faltered, and for the first time, Kate felt power. Not today, she said, her voice stronger than she knew it could be. Not ever. The hollow recoiled. The silver-eyed figure twisted in the fog, its shape flickering like a broken reflection. You are defiant, it hissed. Most would break, bend, beg. Kate's chest heaved. Fear still gripped her, but courage bloomed in its place. I will not be taken, she said firmly. Not my mind, not my will, not my life. The stranger stepped forward. He whispered words she couldn't understand. Words like stone and wind, old as the hills themselves. A circle of light formed beneath them, pushing back the fog. The hollow shrieked, a sound that shook the trees, rattled the mist, and pierced the night. Then, silence. The shadows dissolved. The figure's silver eyes dimmed and vanished into the trees. The whispers ceased. Kate sank to her knees, trembling, gasping for air. The stranger placed a hand on her shoulder. You've done what few can, he said softly. You've faced the hollow, and you've endured. She looked up. Why me? She asked, voice barely above a whisper. Why not someone else? He smiled faintly, shadows flickering across his face. because you saw what others ignore. You walked where others fear, and you chose not to give in. That is why the hollow tried, and why it failed. Kate's legs shook, but she stood. The fog lifted slightly, revealing the forest around her. Silent, empty, still. The stranger nodded toward the road that led back to town. Go now, but remember, the hollow never forgets. It waits, it watches, and one day, it may return. Kate stepped forward. Every sound seemed amplified, the crunch of leaves beneath her boots, the distant call of a night bird, the whisper of the wind through the hollow. She paused. For a moment, she glanced back. The clearing was empty. The mist had faded, and yet, she felt it. A lingering presence. Not threatening, not yet, but watching. She took a deep breath and walked toward the road. The moonlight guided her steps. The fear that had gripped her heart was still there, but it was tempered with strength, because she knew she had faced the impossible and survived. Back in town, Kate would never speak fully of what happened in Black Hollow. She would leave it as whispers, as strange dreams that haunted her at night, and as a warning to anyone foolish enough to wander into the fog. The stranger vanished as mysteriously as he appeared, but Kate felt his presence linger, a guardian in the shadows. And deep inside, she knew the hollow was still out there, waiting for the next lost soul. So if you ever find yourself driving through the backroads of West Virginia, and the fog grows thick, and the forest seems alive, remember Kate Thompson. And remember this: some places are meant to be feared. Some whispers are meant to be heard, but never answered.